Pepsi. Oh, boy. Welcome back, guys. Episode 52. Not bad, not bad. I don't think I waited that long since the last one. But hey. What can you do? What can you do? Did I really not? Trying to think if I showed this off in the lap. You know what? I didn't. Alright, fine. One moment. And this. And this. It sucks when you forget. Sucks a lot. Especially since it was all last week. But you forget. Actually, I don't even... If I did show these off, I apologize because I think I didn't. I don't know why. For some reason, I feel like I did. But then again, I don't think I did in the last episode. I highly doubt I did. So, meh. Episode 52. I got games. Small amount of toys. And small amount, I mean 2. So I might as well just clear those out. What was it, last Saturday after work? Headed up to a specific Toys R Us. Cotman Ave one, if you know what I'm talking about, if you live in Philadelphia. And I went there because one of my groups that I am on Facebook with toys and whatnot said that they had the Voltron Lions set, and I think I gotta move this way. He's back there. All the lions are there. Hooray. So I have yellow and finished off that set. I'm not about to grab him. He's like all the way back in there. Right next to Unicron. There's Unicron. There's the Voltron. There you go. Also, I was at the Toys R Us. They happen to have a Trigger Happy from Titans Returns, and I actually wanted this figure. I'm not a huge G1 collector, but when I had this toy for G1, it was good. Decent articulation, and now I have the updated version. That he's a headmaster instead of... He wasn't a head... No, he was... I think he was one of those Transformers that either did have one of those robot guns or didn't. I forget what they call it. Target Master. There we go. Then again, I don't think he was a Target Master either. I think it was just a regular one. I don't know. But that was last Saturday. Today is Sunday. And I went to the flea market, and the only toy pickup I got at the flea market is a little mini Digimon, Omnimon. It's a little action feature that still works. I don't even know what this is from. This could have came in a 3-pack. This could have came in a playset. I don't know, but he's quite detailed. Like, very little paint, but he's there. So, alright, I'll pick up anything Digimon nowadays. So, on to last week's pickups, I guess. Went to a local game store, CEX, down at the mall in Mills, and they had two specific games that I was interested in, and when I went, they weren't there on the shelf. And when they're not there on the shelf, that usually means they're disc only. And for the price that they wanted for them, I wasn't about to pay that price for disc only. One was like $28, one was like $15. If I didn't see the case on the shelf, I wasn't going to buy it. And true to that fact, I did not buy it. However, they did have one game on the shelf that I did want to buy, and quite honestly, it's hard to find this game. I mean, I've never come across it in a person, at least at a GameStop. There's usually a date on these things of when this came out. I don't know if this was an early 3DS release or in a mid kind of range for when it came out. There's usually dates on these, and I hate the fact that they don't do that anymore most of the time. But $25, this is basically what it retails for, which is fine because I never see it. Code of Princess, made by Atlas, of course. So anytime I can find a game made by Atlas that I don't have, I will usually pick it up, as long as it's not overpriced. In this case, it's at the right price. I don't know, maybe the next time I go there, I'll bring in some trade credit. Also, went to the GameStop at the Mills Mall as well. Picked up a couple games that I've been interested in grabbing for quite a bit. Had this on the 360, getting rid of my copy, so because I'm upgrading to PS3 stuff. So any game that was not 360 exclusive, I'm getting rid of and just converting it over to the PlayStation 3. So swapping out my copy on the 360 for a PS version of South Park: The Stick of Truth. Already played a little bit of this, and it's still a fun game. Action adventure, turn-based RPG, very fun game. I kind of sad that I missed out on it when it first came out. I already have this for the 3DS, but I wasn't too impressed with how well it played on the 3DS. So I'm hoping that on the PS3 it'll be a lot better. And I didn't pay much for this on the PS3 either, or not the PS3, the 3DS. And that is One Piece Unlimited World Red Day 1 Edition, which I'm pretty sure every single copy of this has that Day 1 Edition on it. Because I have never seen a copy without that Day 1 Edition. And we'll see how this one goes. This is pretty much a open world. I'm trying to remember how to... You encounter enemies and you have to defeat your enemy as long as you stay within the circle that they are given, something like that. It's hard to say how it is. And this is the last game I got at the GameStop. I've actually been very much looking for this for quite a bit. I've seen it around, like in certain GameStops not in my area, like a couple miles away from me. But I just was never up to going that far to get it. I mean, one I think was downtown in the not Market Street. Is it Market Street? It might be the Market Street GameStop, something like that. But I think at the time it was like $15 for this. But when I bought it at the Mills GameStop, it was like $8 after my Pro rewards. And that is Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner Soul Hackers. Another Atlas game. And I've been looking for this mostly because I really wanted to try this out. I've played Shin Megami Tensei 4. I've played Persona Q. So whenever I played Overclock. I still haven't played Record Breaker. Mostly because I know it's the sequel to Overclocked. So I want to finish that before I get into that. And this is a standalone game. I don't know if this is a remake of the first one. I thought it was at first, but now I'm not 100% sure. So we'll see how this one goes. Those were pickups besides the Omnimon. Everything else is from today at the flea market. So we'll start off light. Guy had a couple Game Boy Color games on the table. I asked how much he wanted for them. He said $5 a piece. There was only really one I wanted. I said, would you do 3 for this one? He said, sure. And that is Lego Stunt Rally. Thought I'd give it a shot. At worst, it's a horrible racing game on the Game Boy Color. We'll see how it goes. I'm trying to expand my horizon with Game Boy Color because I don't usually buy it. And that's just me. I just never really got into it. Let's see. These were all from the same vendor. We're going to save that. An oddity, a sealed copy of Uncharted 3. Factory sealed, so... I'll probably, once I get the other two and finish the other two, I'll pop this open. But until then, it's just going to stay sealed. Let's see, let's go with that. Alright. Strangely enough, for $1, Punch-Out on the Wii. I mean, no manual, and the disc is... This could use a buff. And at $1, a buff usually costs me $2 at CEX. There's still enough room and meat on the bone here to make some profit. I don't really collect for the Wii, so at most I would probably put this on my table for $15. It's usually around a $20 game, but without the manual, I do take money off. So I'll take $5 off it, throw a $15 tag on it, and someone will probably knock me down to $12. So that's how it goes. And that was just an oddity to find on a dollar table. There was like Just Dance, Cause, or something like that also. I was just like, okay, this is also $1. Alright. But I don't want it. Saw a local, not a local, a regular. And he usually has one big table full of games just randomly plowed on there. And sometimes and a lot of the times he will have new stuff. That's the weird thing. But he doesn't really check prices or anything. But a lot of the times he's not really putting out expensive stuff. In this case, you can see I got a PS2 and a 360 game. Kind of wanted this. I'm not that big of a fighting fan, but I know the games are starting to somewhat climb. Somewhat. Not truly, but somewhat. So I figured I'd give the old Guilty Gear games a shot. We'll see how it goes. Guilty Gear X is complete. Manual's a little iffy, but it was covered in stickers and I got most of it off. And the disc is actually quite good. I still have a bit of cleaning to do on it. I don't know if you'll tell. See all that's gunk right there? It had a void sticker on it, so I got the sticker off, but there's still some residue on it. A little bit of soap and hot water will probably get that right off. That was $3, and it's worth about 10, so I'll just go ahead into my PS2 collection. And the 360 game is a game I've kind of been on the look for, mostly for the PS3. So until I find a PS3 copy of the game, I think I'll just hold on to this 360 copy of the game. You just saw it right there. Alright, whatever. Ghostbusters, the video game. Kind of an obscure game that I don't see around too often. And it does have some value. He wanted $5 for this one. I was happy to pay the $8 for both. This game generally goes around the $20 to $25 range. It does have some water damage on it. At least to the front label. It looks fine enough. Oh, wow, the label's actually still somewhat wet. Oh, well. What are you going to do? As I said, I'm just going to keep it and play it, and then if I get the PS3 version, I'll switch them out. In my collection, at least. And for the big purchase, I spent, what, $60 with this guy? Yeah, $60 with this guy. And I got some pretty good stuff, to be quite honest with you. And I beat a reseller out of something. So, that's always a good thing. What is it? I actually had to come back, or I went around the place, because that's what I do. I usually do multiple pass-throughs of the flea market, in case I missed anything. I didn't see this when I first went up to his table. So on my second go-around, I saw this. I asked him how much he wanted for it. He said 20. I said, would you do 15? He accepted it, because I already spent money with him already. Yeah. No, I actually spent 50 with this guy, not 60. Okay. And that is The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks. I already have Phantom Hourglass. Thought I'd give Spirit Tracks a shot. We'll see how this one is. I'm not the biggest Zelda fan. And I know with Breath of the Wild out and whatnot, Zelda's kind of getting hot right now. So to pick up a game on the DS for $15, and I know at least GameStop will usually sell this for like maybe $25 to $28. I'm not about to take it in the GameStop just to get trade credit, but I'll give it a shot for like, if it passes the hour playtest, I'll probably keep it. If it doesn't pass the hourly playtest, then I ain't gonna keep it. Let's see. I guess I'll throw in the story about how I came up on this table. I was ahead of a buddy of mine who was walking around with a local reseller, who I guess he knows also. I don't really know him that well enough. To be perfectly honest, he's one of those resellers who just got in it to make a profit, in my personal opinion. And he will usually buy the whole table of games. And that's what he tried to do here. He tried to buy the whole table. I had my little stack going on. which is basically this little stack plus something else. And he just goes, how much you want for this? This is like 5 stacks of games. Maybe each stack had about 5 games, so we're talking like 25 games. And I can't say the seller of this was rude, but when you look at this guy, he is middle-aged, gray hair, gray beard. He's old. So without thinking, he goes, you probably can't afford it. And this insults the reseller to throw down his stack of money onto the table. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't care. I'm not going to buy anything from him. I'm just going to be like, I wish I could get this game off him, but goddamn, it's at a price that I don't want to pay for it. So that's that. And then I think the seller was about to count it up before he grabbed both of his stacks and walked off, and I was just like, all right, more for me to go around, because one of the games that I didn't pick up yet was in one of the stacks, so I'm kind of glad I grabbed it. Let's see. So the stuff I got from this seller, he had pretty good prices on this stuff. For my taste, or at least to me spending some of it. Mario DS, or Mario Kart DS. I have a case and manual for this, so I think that was $10 he wanted for that. Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. I have a lenticular cover for this, I think, somewhere. I gotta find it. But the disc on this was like pretty mint, if I remember right. And if not, I mean, for the price that I paid for it, yeah, it's there. I'll probably keep this one, because I don't know when I'm going to get the PS4 remake or not. I probably will, but I probably will wait till it's dropped in price. I don't want to. I know $40 is a good price for 3 Crash games, but I'm going to wait a little bit till a used copy comes in, and it's like maybe at like 30, maybe 28, and then I'll pick it up. But Crash Rewarped, that was also $10 in my stack. He wanted $5 a piece for these. In the end, I got this whole like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items for $35. That Spirit Tracks is off the market right now. He wanted 5 for me and my Katamari. If I can ever find PSP games, I will pick them up a lot of the times, as long as they have the case and manual. I don't really like to collect loose PSP games, mostly because their casing falls apart very easily. And then the other one is for PS2, Taz Wanted. And then the one item I beat the reseller out of, I like to collect controller variants, mostly N64 variants. So if I see a controller that I don't have, I will usually jump on it. He had 2. He had a few controllers on the table. He had the Atomic Purple. He had nice blue. I had both those. He had a regular red, solid red. I didn't have it, but the stick was a little eh. But this one, the stick's a little eh on this, but I don't see it. Reseller wanted this because he had the console for it. So I beat him out of finishing the set and probably getting more money out of it. The Funtstic Watermelon. And sticks, it springs right back. It's fine. It's just a little loose. And all in all, I like what he did. He zip-tied the wires instead of just tying them together. But all in all, this was like the find of the day for me, because finding a Funtstic controller is beyond impossible nowadays. Oh boy. But that is the finds for the day, folks. And hopefully, I think in 2 weeks, I'm going to go selling at Berlin. And before I do that, I'll probably do a little video on the stuff that I'm bringing to sell at Berlin when the time comes around. We'll see. It'll probably be in 2 weeks if the weather's good, because next weekend none of the cars are going to be around. My sister, I think, is going somewhere. My mom's going somewhere. Everyone's busy but me on a Sunday, and that's usually when I go, Sunday. So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes, guys. I'll talk to you later.